Hello students, hope you all are fine. So today we will start the first poem of class 7, that is the Squirrel. So let's start. Before starting, I would like you to solve one puzzle. Let's see what is it. It belongs to a rodent family, but it is not a rat. It has a furry and bushy tail, but it's not a cat. It has the 3 long strips on its body, that is grey, white and brown. So can you guess it? What is it? Yes, you are right. It is the squirrel. So let's start our first poem, that is the Squirrel. And its poetess is Mildred Bowers Armstrong. She was born in 1901 and she was died in 1984. Let's have a description of the poetess. She was born in Chicago in the year 1901. She is an American poetess and she was a children's book author in the era of 1950s. Mildred Bowers earned her bachelor degree from Northwestern University in 1923. She also studied at Mount Holyoke College, the University of Chicago and the University of Wisconsin. Let's have the explanation of the poem. Here, the poetic devices which we will discuss at the end of the poem, where the poetess has used the repetition of vowels and consonant sounds. And in this poem, the squirrel, the poetess Mildred Bowers Armstrong describes a squirrel. You know, once she was walking in the garden, and while she was walking in the garden, she had observed a squirrel, and while she had observed, it was very mischievous, very naughty, and the poetess was very impressed by its activity. So that's why she wrote a beautiful poem on the squirrel. So let's see what she had written. The poem tells us about a squirrel which is sitting on the tree. It depicts the appearance of the squirrel and tells us how it eats the nuts. It tells us how the squirrel acts when one goes closer to it. So the 3 main points the poem is describing. First one is that the poetess is describing a squirrel. A squirrel sitting on the tree. So first thing is that. Second thing is that she is describing the appearance of a squirrel. Thirdly, it is describing how it eats a nut. How it eats a nut. And the last one, that how the squirrel acts when someone gets closer to it. So the poem describes totally about the appearance of a squirrel, and these 4 points the poetess has covered up. The poem is, he wore a question mark for tail, an overcoat of grey. He sat up straight to eat a nut. He liked to tease and play, and if we ran around his tree, he went the other way. So, where the poetess has started the poem, it is described that the squirrel has worn a tail. Generally, word is used for the clothes, for the decoration and for protection. But here, the poetess has used the word wore to describe the tail. And she personifies the squirrel. So, here personification poetic device is used where the poetess has given the human attributes to the squirrel. He wore a question mark for a tail. if we will observe the squirrel, we will see that its tail is looking like a question mark while it is sitting, and it is forming a question mark. From the beginning side, it is little bit straight, and at the end, it curved like a question mark, and its appearance is as a question mark. And overcoat of grey. Overcoat, its meaning is that is a long warm coat atop final layer of paint or similar covering. So here overcoat is used for the grey color which is covered the whole body of the squirrel. So here we will see that the squirrel has grey color on its body, and this grey color covered the whole body of the squirrel. It appears as an overcoat. He sat up straight to eat a nut. While he is feeling like eating a nut, so to eat the nut, he has to sit up straight and eat a nut. Then, while he is sitting up straight, his tail is appearing more as a question mark. He liked to tease and play. You know, the squirrel is a mischievous and naughty animal. His mischievousness motivates us to play with it. Likewise that, while the poetess was walking in the garden, at the same time the squirrel was motivating to the poetess to play with it. And we will give one example. Suppose the squirrel is on the one side of the tree, and while we chase him and we go on the same side to catch him, just he shifted, he ran away to the other side of the tree. So that is very playful, which attracts us, which motivates us. So in the same way the poetess has described, the same incident happened with the poetess also. While the poetess went to catch to the squirrel at one side of the tree, then the squirrel ran away to the other side of the tree, and that was extremely playful. So we can see in the picture how much curved shape it is. It looks like a question mark. Now let's discuss the rhyme schemes. Here, the rhyme scheme means to say that the last word of each line sounds the same. The last word of each line sounds the same. So here we will see the last word of first line is tail. Okay, and the last word of second line is grey. Generally, grey spelling is G-R-E-Y, but here to give artistic effect to the poem, the poetess has used the spelling G-R-A-Y. Next is nut. The last word of third line is nut, and the last word of fourth line is play. So we are giving them the alphabet's name, that is A. Tail A, grey B, nut C, grey and play rhymes with each other. So we will rhyme it as B. So for the first four lines, the rhyme scheme will be A, B, C, B. And every time we denote the rhyme scheme in small alphabets, not the capital alphabets. So just take care that in small alphabets we will describe the rhyme scheme of the poem. So the rhyme scheme of first 6 lines is that A, B, C, D, D, B. Now let's discuss the poetic devices used in the poem. First poetic device is personification. Personification, where human attributes are provided to the non-living things or other objects or animals. So here the poetess personifies the squirrel by calling it him. So the poetess personifies him. for the animals, but here the squirrel is called as hen. Second thing is that alliteration. Alliteration. The initial consonant sounds in closely connected words. So here, where alliteration is used in set up straight. Set up straight. We can see that S sound is repeating. Next we will see that is imagery. Imagery means to say that where the poet has given the visual description of the squirrel throughout the poem. We are able to see the visual description of the squirrel described in the poem. Next one is used, that is anaphora. Anaphora is the repetition of the word at the start of two or more consecutive lines. So here we can see that he set up straight to eat a nut. He liked to tease and play. Keyword is repeated again and again simultaneously in two lines. So that's all was about the poem. Just read the poem again yourself and find out the answers of the questions. Thank you and have a nice day.